Oh, goodness.
Okay, so
what's up, people? Okay.
Okay, what are we saying here?
We are saying that we are grateful to be alive. We are grateful for the internet. I'm grateful for technology, to be able to, reach the world. We actually, since we can't go do our recovery in poetry,
right.
Which is, what do we do? Why don't you tell them what recovery in poetry is?
Okay, just put me on the spot. But, so, with recovery in poetry, for those of you who don't know, my mom is now 10 years sober. She dealt with alcohol addiction and has recovered. And so...
Not recovering.
Is recovering. Excuse me. It's a process. Day about it. But so she's recovering. And so we like to give back. And so with recovery and poetry, we started off by going to the rehabs that my mom actually went to. And women's rehabs is where we started. And we started going to these rehabs. And, poetry for us was really like one of the only healthy coping mechanisms. One of the only healthy releases that we really had. Shout out to Jesus.
Hey.
Right. So one of the only like healthy releases that we found to, get the pain out, writing it down, speaking it, get that out of your system. And so we decided to go to these rehabs with these women and have poetry classes with them. You know what I mean? And poetry isn't so formal. You know what I mean? It can be a letter. It can be scribbles on the page. It can be rhyming, rapping, all of that. As long as you're getting it out. That is what we call recovering poetry. And so with these groups, we would come, and for those of you who don't know, I do rap. I do write poetry, as we talked about. And so, I would do a poem. I would do one of my poems, and, it was like reciprocated love and reciprocating healing. We never go into these environments as, we're giving something only and we're trying to heal you. No, it's actually healing for us as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's where we started, and, we're just continuing. We're a business now. So we're, embarking on new adventures with recovery and poetry. We're setting that up. And so considering we can't necessarily go outside now, we can't do gatherings, we're deciding to, come together and make a couple of videos for you guys and for us because, like I said, it's reciprocated healing. So.
Yes, it is. And, it's... I know poetry for me is healing. That's how I have dealt with my recovery. That's how I get it out. And it's pretty amazing to see your children. You're like she's something else. Like I write poetry. I can't rap. My mouth won't move fast enough for it. I can by myself.
Yes, you absolutely
I be getting it. Listen, old school hip hop. Me and Eric B. I got it down.
She said, "Listen,
I got it down."
Cut.
But she's amazing, and it's awesome because like there was a time where she might not have been in my life. I messed that up, with my alcoholism and all of my isms, and I lost all my children actually to that when they were little, and it was rough, you know what I'm saying? But so now we go and we give back because, it's like mother-daughter tag team. First of all, there's not a lot of mothers that get along with their teenagers.
Right.
Okay, I have 5 kids, just want to let you know. Right. And I get along with all of them. I don't mean like that. I just mean that the dynamics of mother and child, addict, alcoholic mother, and child of an alcoholic addict. It can be rough, and there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of dysfunction, there's a lot of, uncertainty, and, so we want to go and give back to show that you can, no matter what, no matter where you've been, no matter what you've gone through, our God, who we call Jesus, that's his name, that's our higher power, he would show up, and he showed up.
Absolutely.
And I have conquered many adversities, as well as my daughter, and we have to give back. Because
Yeah.
really, I should not be here. I am a living, walking miracle.
Amen.
And I promised that I would go to the top of the mountain and tell the story of how God came and saved me. And so that's what we do. And it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing to go into these places and these incredible women, women,
powerful,
and
so powerful.
like I haven't forgotten about the men, because we
coming for y'all
get
too.
the men, we are, but we just were not fortunate enough due to this
circumstances.
The health things going on right now and all that. We haven't gotten there yet, but we coming for y'all. So because we need to hear the men.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need to. There's a lot. But anyway, these incredible women, it is amazing. To go in and we get deep with it. You know what I mean? I don't want don't give me no frilly poetry, because ain't nothing frilly about the women in there.
Yeah, right.
They're hurting, and
Absolutely.
they're dealing with life on life terms.
Mm-hmm.
And the purpose is to spread some hope. I sat where they were sitting,
mm-hmm.
and just to witness, them actually share.
Yeah.
And to see God work.
Yeah.
And to see healing take place. Women that don't really want to share, definitely don't want to do no poetry, and nor do they want to hear anything about God.
Right.
Know? And then to share my story, and they hear me and they know.
Yeah, absolutely.
They know. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. They get deep, man. We write the poetry, and then we go around and we share it. And God shows up, and healing takes place. And by the end, we all sitting there crying with tissues.
All of us, every last one.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. But it's amazing. So I feel like I'm rambling.
No, you're not. Really... You are not rambling at all.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
you are not rambling.
This is new. It's new.
Yeah.
But anyway, so are we gonna share some poetry? This time? I know we plan on doing.
We can, yeah. We can definitely. If that's what you want to, if you want to go in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I really had one that I wanted to share. It's just kind of crazy because this apparatus in my mouth here is just kind of like
apparatus.
It's odd to talk with,
I had to stretch my leg. It was starting to go numb.
I'm so grateful that we get to do this, being locked up in the house and just, not really locked up in the house, but you kind of feel like it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, my goodness. But to be able to still let the creative juices flow.
Yeah.
And have the opportunity to, you kind of feel defeated. Especially when, part of my recovery, the way I work my recovery is giving back. And part of my, part of that is actually going and walking into these places and meeting people and
making that connection.
I can't go to meetings and I can't, do that. So it just, it can make your isms want to creep up,
Yeah.
And you're not necessarily, want to use, but.
Right.
You might want to choke somebody, you know what I mean? That's not good,
Yeah.
That's not good for nobody. And, or depression, or...
All right, I'm going to stand up for a second. Keep going.
or, something. But anyway, to have this outlet, it's pretty cool. So I found this poem that I wrote. I was cleaning out my stuff, and, it was just like, wow. And so I'm grateful, and I just wanted to share it with you. Bear with me. Let's see. This is where I began to spread my wings and fly. This is where it was okay to cry. This is where me and Y became one, and I was able to accept the outcome. God and me, we have a strong bond. I will forever be grateful for the victories that we have won. Planted like a tree with thick, strong roots, Running deep is the bond between my God and me, a place where my met self and I was able to ask for help. Thank you, God, for bringing me out of my addiction, my mental prison, my physical bondage, where my spirit and soul were once held hostage.
Mm.
Today I'm free to be me. Hey. Thank you, God.
That was so good.
That was really. And I'm like a shy individual, like not really shy, but shy. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, you know, this one she go on stage and be like, you know,
yeah, but
I'd be
at
like,
the same,
oh.
yeah, but yeah. But people say like, if you meet me, I'd be like, hi, my name is Aria. And then next thing you know, I get on stage. What up, bitch? Your girl Z.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
matter of fact, come on.
Yeah.
That's. Mm-hmm. You know which one I want you to do.
Repercussion, right? Repercussion.
Woo.
Oh my God.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah. Here we go. Okay. Why did I say repercussion?
Listen, I don't know, baby. Just come on. They don't know.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay. But anyways, we have to edit this out. We are editing like this whole part out.
Listen,
no.
No. Can we laugh?
Okay.
We gotta laugh. Life ain't scripted. Shoot.
Okay. Anyhow. Anyhow. Okay. Are you gonna laugh?
No.
Okay. Okay. I don't even know. Why am I like hesitating so bad?
That's all right. You got
Okay, whatever. Representation set a stage more in control than what I knew. Trial and error never sheltered what became the only view. It was the mitching and matching, the yelling and the smacking, the violence and the passion, the words versus the action that left so uncertain role of woman I should be. Dependent or lone ranger, the peasant or the queen say, who lays behind the window watching others getting free and dares to challenge if the window ever sees the people leave? I've heard my mother feel a fist come to her face. My father's broken teeth and the table he would taste. Then watch them love each other more than people ever could. Sit and wonder if love can be understood. I suppose that not all caskets come because death revealed his face. Felt that as a child I should stay inside my place. But grown up now becoming and the questions ain't a race. Run deep into love will make a love give you some space. It's really just a distraction. The chance is only a fraction that two people love each other without the fatal attraction. But fraction being slim, I choose to look at that instead. Love is more than chaos I rebuke from out my head. And I think that there's something so powerful about, you know, for those who, you know, parent and children who have dealt with substance abuse or dysfunction or any abuses. I think there's something so powerful and so essential about creating a safe environment to speak, right?
Yeah, because like something about that. Let me tell you about my baby, right? So she likes to wake me up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, whatever, and it's wonderful because she'll come in, so it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm sleeping, and she comes in. She's like, "Mommy, you gotta listen to this. You gotta listen to this." And so I'm like, "Okay, let's go," because I know she's in her zone, and so I'm like, "All right, And so she hits me with that one. It is something to hear your child, right? And to express herself, and what she's talking about is real.
Mm-hmm.
And the people and the players in this poem, I'm one of them.
Mm.
So the impact of my life, my parenting, my role as her mother, the impact of that on her, to hear it, like I already know it was dysfunctional, so I know, you know what I mean? But to hear it, you got to feel it. And it sliced me all up. It was like, I said, oh, Lord, I didn't really did it,
Yeah.
On the other side of that, my baby ain't in bondage. My baby got to say that out her mouth, and I'm grateful for that, because healing. You know what I'm saying? Healing. I don't listen. Everything that I have conquered, all them demons, all them chains, and all of that. No, I don't. No, we're breaking those. I don't want the cycle to repeat itself, and it's going to repeat itself if we act like, what it was wasn't what it was. And so I made it a point to be like, I don't care if whatever affected you, it hurt you, it whatever it was. I don't care if you think it's going to hurt me. I don't care if it is going to hurt me. It is going to hurt me, because it is. I don't care about that. I want it to get up off of you, and so therefore it will get up off of you when you open your mouth and you share it. And I gotta hear it. And it hurts. I just gotta take the hit. And you know what? That hit, let me tell you something. God will give you beauty for ashes. And the beauty in the fact that my baby could wake me up in the middle of the night and tell it to me like that. I mean, come on now. It was beautiful. It was art. It was God. It was healing. And I'm so grateful. And so we take that, and you know what? I gotta look at that.
Yeah.
Because it also shows me how far we've come.
What you saying? What you saying?
It shows me how far we've come. It shows me how my God showed up.
Yeah.
Flipped the script on Satan and said, "No, you won't." And I'm free, and you're free.
Yeah.
You're free.
Yeah.
Because as a parent, as an addict, alcoholic, dysfunctional parent, we mess our kids up. You know what I'm saying? We don't intentionally go out there like, I'm gonna have these babies, I'm just gonna destroy them. No, that's not. We don't set out to do that. But that's what we end up doing, and especially when it's like a cycle. This is generational.
Come on now.
My family, it's generational. It's just alcohol addiction, but all that, it goes, all the isms, it goes way back. And what I'm grateful for is that the cycle, we're breaking the cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And God is showing up. God is showing up.
Yeah, because without Him.
Exactly. And I can show up today, and she shows up, and I have 5 kids.
Yeah.
I got some grandkids, y'all.
She don't look like
I
it.
am not
She don't
old
look
enough
like
to be
it.
having these grandkids.
She don't look like it.
Thank God I don't look like I did, though. Ooh, boy. I look rough. When I...
I don't like that.
I'd be like, well, listen, I got to tell it. Because let me tell you something. When look at me, zebra. And, oh, boy, I don't know what I want to be today.
Get the banana. No, you're
whatever.
Beautiful. You're beautiful.
Banana. Patty, what's up? I'm sorry. Anyway.
It's okay.
So, what was I talking
about? When you got out, you was looking rough.
When I got sober 10 years ago, I looked like I had been through it, in it, under it. I looked like a walking dead, and I felt like it. And I mean, I must have weighed about 90 pounds. It just was. It was. Anyway, moving out of there. All I'm saying is, because we do have to go back there, but my point was that, you know what I'm saying? Just how far we've come, and it's a blessing that I get to sit here today, be here today. When every morning I didn't want to get up, I didn't want to wake up, I did not want to even be a part of this.
Right.
And today I'm here, and my kids, like I said, I have 5 of them, and I love them all, and they love me.
Yeah.
And we're working, we're working as best as we can to live life on life's terms, and, I'm proud of them all. I'm truly blessed.
Yeah. And I think that, it's okay, go ahead, cry. Go ahead, cry. No, but, we talk about this, all the time or whatever, just, how much of an impact that you made on my life, you know, and I feel like it's so important. Just making sure that's all. But no, but it's so important to hear from the child, you know, and to hear from, you know, the child. Yeah. And so, you know, just the impact that you've made on my life with your recovery is showed me, you know, it doesn't matter how low you get. It doesn't matter how far deep you are. And you even said this to me earlier about, you know, being covered in mud, you know, and you can't see a way out. You feel like you can't even breathe, you know what I'm saying? You're by yourself. You feel like nobody's there. It doesn't matter how low you go. You can always get back up. You can always sit back up. You can always push that dirt off you and keep it moving and keep going and change. You know what I'm saying? And change everything around you. You know? And so I'm so grateful to have firsthand witnessed that throughout my life. You know, and when you're a kid, you don't necessarily understand these things. You know what I'm saying? And that takes time. You can't rush anybody's forgiveness. You can't rush anybody to see the bigger picture. That takes time. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm older, I can really look at it, you know, and see what it was. And I'm so grateful that I can be a firsthand witness to somebody going as low can be and still being like, okay, now we're going up. You know what I'm saying? That's such a blessing, and that will carry with me wherever I go. You know what I mean? However far I go, there's no distance in that. And so I always have a piece of my mother with me that keeps me going, that keeps me, you know, fighting and going on, because I know can't nothing stop what God has placed inside of me. She's a perfect example of that. I'm a perfect example of that. You know? So, period. 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 That's it.
Oh my goodness. Yo.
Yeah. And I mean that. I don't just say that, you know, what's my song? That you be singing. I don't just talk like that.
I walk like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, come on.
Yeah, but that's honest though. Like, I'm not just saying that just to say it. I mean that.
You know, that was the lesson.
Yeah. And I just want to say one more thing. I'm sorry, I gotta say this. But, you know, if she would have laid down and died, we wouldn't have this. You know? We wouldn't have this. I wouldn't get to look forward to her seeing my graduation and knowing that she can be present to be there. She would have never been able to go to one of my poetry slams. Who knows if I would have been able to, you know, my mother is, you know, as crazy as the dynamic is, was one of the first people, you know, who heard my raps, who listened to them, you know, who created that safe environment for me to be able to tell my story. You know what I mean? Who was never one to be like, oh, that's whack, move. You know what I mean? And that alone really built that strength inside of me to be like, okay, let's do this. Let's keep working on it. Let's keep growing with it. You know what I mean? So if she would have laid down and died, who knows if I would have ever released. You know?
Well, let me tell you something.
So don't give up.
Let me tell you about a man.
Oh!
Let me tell you about a man, because me, I did not do anything by myself. I called on his name.
I know that's right.
I called on the name of Jesus.
I know that's right.
And he showed up. And I was mad at God.
Oh.
Like, I wasn't even trying to talk to God, okay?
Yeah.
I was a little upset. We had beef. I felt like, you know, my life, you know, it wasn't how I wanted it to be. And, you know, I blamed God for a lot of things that I had to endure.
Yeah.
Because, you know, adversity been after me since I came out my mama. So it's right. Like, it's, woo. But let me tell you, that's how I know that there is a God. For me to even still be sitting here.
I know that's right.
A peace of mind. Peace of mind.
Yeah.
After walking through the valleys and the shadows of death that I don't walk through, I'm telling you, there has to be a God. I know there's a God. He showed up. So my point is that I didn't do any of this by myself, and no one can. You know, when I decided, because I didn't really want to get sober anyway. I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to do none of this. I didn't want to do this mummy thing. I didn't want to show up for life. I didn't want to love anything ever again because I was so broken. I mean, broken, you know. And I just wanted to leave. I wanted to go, you know. And God said no. And, you know, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. But at that point, like I'm not gonna get into the whole thing, but at that point, like there was nobody left. You know, my rocks. You know, like my grandmother and my two uncles. You know, they died, and my kids didn't want nothing to do with me because I couldn't stop drinking. My nose kept bleeding. Like I was a big broken. I had nothing. And I was having a temper tantrum, you know, cussing out God. I thought, you know, I was cussing, you know, saying everything you are not supposed to say. I will never repeat any of it, but use your imagination. And I had my big bottle of evil juice. And I was just, you know. And the next thing I know, oh my goodness, like I saw my grandmother's face pop through the sky, like, you can't talk to God like that. And I just hit the floor, hit the sand, rather. And it was like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, it was like I just came out of and I just cried and I said, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't want to be like that. And I'm like, my kids, like, I can't. I can't puck out and leave this legacy for my kids. I'm going to leave this legacy for my kids. After everything that I've been through, I'm just going to be like, oh, your mom's punked out and drank herself to death because life got too hard. Like, what? I can't leave that legacy for them. I can't do that. I can't. You know, and I'm like, God, but I can't do this without you. I need help. I need help. And that was the first, you know, that was a surrendering, you know? And I crawled into the hospital and, you know, did what I had to do. And it was rough, but, you know, but the thing of it is that, you know, there was a chance my kids still wouldn't want nothing to do with me. And, you know, that's when the realization came where I had to do it for me. I couldn't really do it for my kids because, like, you know, that's not going to work. But that was scary. And to be able to sit here and be able to tell of a time I was so scared after I got out of rehab. And I was so scared. And I just found this place to live. And I went to my kids and I was like, you know, I found us a home. Do you want to come? And at the time there was 4. 2 of them didn't want nothing to do with me. And 2 of them came with me. And it was rough. But anyway.
And you know, just on that part from the child's perspective, you know, I was so fortunate to have an older sister who, you know, we were a pact, right? And so, you know, when we got separated from our mother, one of our biggest fears was us getting separated from each other, right? Because, you know, DCF came and, you know, we didn't know how that was going to go. So one of our greatest fears was being separated from each other. So we had a pact, you know what I'm saying? It was us against the world. It doesn't matter what happens, we're going together. We're going together. It doesn't matter who we have to go with, we're going together. And so that was one of our biggest things. And, you know, fortunately, we got to stay with family members. So thank you, God, for that protection. And then when it came to when our mother got sober, after rehab, you know, she'd asked us who we wanted to stay with. And we had grown so close in the pact by that point that, so it was three of us at that moment, in that moment that I'm thinking of specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were living with my dad at the time, and my sister had brought us into the bathroom, small little bathroom, crusty, but anyhow, so she had brought us into the bathroom, and we all sat on the floor, and she said to us, along the basis of, I love you so much, I love you no matter how this turns out. If you want to go with mom, you can go. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to hate you. And I still love you. And we're still going to see each other no matter what. You know what I mean? She said that to me and my younger sibling. And, I'm so grateful that she said that. Because there was such a loyalty built that anything outside of that would have felt like betrayal. And I would have never crossed that line if she did not say that to me. I can say this now. And so when she said that, that was the release that I needed, because I wanted my mom. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be there. I did not want to be in the predicament that I was in. I wanted nothing to do with it. So by the time she came out and she was, ready, I was hopeful. I always had the hope. You know what I'm saying? I was always like, when my mommy gets out, that's where I'm going. Don't try it. You know what I'm saying? In my head, that's what I'd always known, regardless. And so by the time she did, I wanted that. So that released me to be able to say, yes, I'm going. And even for my dad, there was that loyalty in that moment. So, that would feel like betrayal. But I knew, it was my sister, really. It was the pact. So when she said that, it freed me so that I could go. And I'm so grateful for that.
I'm so proud of you, because, like, I know there's kids out there, there's
Because, let me just say something. Because as much as she hated my mother in that time, there was a part of her that wanted that relationship regardless. And at 12, 13, 14, she could see that there was an opportunity for me and my mother to have that relationship. And she didn't want to jeopardize that. And so I will always be grateful for that. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I had to make that note. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm so grateful. I know there's even my children, my family members, there's still a lot of healing that is taking place and will take place. I have been sober most of your life.
My life, yeah. More than half.
Right. And your brother.
Yeah.
And sister, but my two oldest, they my oldest, boy, let me tell you something. I am grateful that she is the person that she is.
Yeah.
I don't really, I probably don't tell her enough.
Yeah.
But I'm proud of who she is. And just to be able to come back into that and to still have her call me when,
Yeah. Could go and cry.
I mean, she grew up with me. I was just a baby. I had her when I was 17 years old. So, we grew up together, and so, like, whoo,
Yeah.
That first one, boy, good God. I was the guinea pig, you know what I mean? I was a guinea pig, I know. But anyway, not to lighten it, I'm sorry, but I would be sitting here bawling for real, so I had to catch myself right quick. But I just want to speak about, they're not here, but I I got some amazing kids, man.
Amazing.
Kids and some amazing grandchildren. Let me tell you something. When I say, God, I don't want to leave this legacy to my children, if he don't do nothing else for me, if he don't do nothing else, he's already done it.
Yeah.
In this moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, he has blessed me. And so this is why I want to do this, because, you know, I know what it feels like to be that mother that has just totally, when you have chosen your demons over your children, whether you wanted to be a mom or not, when you have it does something to you that you know, not many of us get back up from. And it ain't easy getting up from that and showing your face and still trying to have a life. You feel like you ain't worthy of a life. What? I'm not worthy to smile.
Come on.
Smile?
Come on.
I'm not worthy to smile. I did the unthinkable. Never mind being a person and a woman and a human before that. It doesn't matter. When you're a mom or a parent and it does something, a part of you dies. And, you know, so to have come back and to live life and to see miracles take place for me still, and to see God love me still, even when I was the most ratchet. I'm talking ratchet. That's all I'm gonna say about that, because, you know, but to still be loved.
Yeah.
I have to share that, because there might be somebody out there that wants to give up and feels like there is no hope and they've done too much, and you know, no, that's not true. You call on his name. His name is Jesus, and he came, and you got to work. You know, it's hard work. It's not easy, but he will meet you there. He will meet you. I'm living proof. And there ain't nothing that will surprise me. Ain't nothing too ratchet, I'm going to tell you right now. Pimps, hoes, and Cadillac doors, right?
Right.
Anyway, that's for another story.
Wait 1 second.
She left me.
Just based on that, I want to show you guys a poem, actually, because that just hit me, and now I need to say this one. So I'm gonna be looking down because I'm looking at my paper. Yes, paper and pen. So, I know that lately you've been feeling like the only one that hears you is you, and if you dared to live in honesty and speak out your truth, you think you'd be misunderstood, and that rejection cut deep. So you would rather live in silence, though the pain may increase. It's a tricky scenario if we risk to admit it. There's 1,000 little factors that are more comfortable hidden than having to face the way you feel. Because if we may just keep it real, you always run instead of heal. But I understand it, how the anger can be protective. Your walls, unlike your heart, don't ever get to breaking. They leave you safe, when in reality that running leaves you bitter. That running leaves you fighting, crying, drinking as the killer of yourself. I've been there before, and my release, it was God. Not the religion or the rules, it was the peace from inside. To know my truth was always safe within his arms and his embrace. Then I was more than all the pain. Even if I was Cain, he still loved me just the same. Even if I refrained, he was still calling my name. To know I could be broken and be seen for who I am. To know he had a plan, even if I ain't understand it. So that just really hit me, what you were talking about. I had to make that connection right there.
Just say out my heart.
Yeah.
Even if I was Cain. What?
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it's so true. And that goes back into connection with, you know, how much you've impacted my life. You know.
And how much you have impacted mine. Like, what?
God knew what he was doing when he set this up. Because
he knew. He knew it. He knew. He really did. And I just, you know, I'm so grateful because I get to I get to watch you, you know, and I'm like, my gosh, I remember telling you one time when I was 17.
Mm.
I think I told you this when you was 15, but
10. No.
Probably.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute, let's see. But I wish I had a piece of your courage and your, you know, when I was your age, and your perspective on life. You know, I am. I'm just grateful that you are who you are, and to watch you. You know, I mean, you do your homework. You know, I ain't had to ever be, you know, worrying about what you're doing with your homework, and you know, you just advocate for yourself. You're a go getter. You know, go getter. I mean, and you get it done. You get it done. That's. I mean, you know, I like to start things before I'm good at starting. I will start something and it will be like, yes, and then I don't know what happens. Like in the middle, I'll be like,
yeah,
you know, it's just, it's a trip. I'm getting better though. Getting
yeah,
better.
You are.
Yes, it's
you
progress, not perfection.
Go ahead.
But
write that down.
Right. But no, but I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm proud. I'm like, yes. Like, you know, I told you earlier, it's like, you know, the things that we experience. You know, I just looked up over here. Y'all can't see it, but I just looked up over here and saw a picture of my dad. And
I literally knew we was about to get into this conversation. Not even gonna lie. Okay, go ahead though.
So,
good Lord.
So when I was born, my dad, right? Well, my parents was teenagers too. You know what I'm saying? My mom was like 16, and my dad was 19, I do believe. And he didn't want nothing to do with no child, first of all, because he was like, you know, he was fine too. I mean, like, he was one of them. Oh my God, every female on the planet,
right?
And he was a track star. He was a football star. You know what I mean? He was like it, you know, and but he didn't want no child, so he was like, nah, I'm out. And he went to college for a little while, but he I didn't meet him till I was 19, and he was an alcoholic, and when I met him, he was like the wino on the street, you know. And I searched for him. Like, I wanted to know who he was all my life. And, like, you know, I had my mom. My mom was great. You know what I mean? I had 2 uncles, and they was like 2 dads, 2 brothers, 2, like, they was, oh, man. Anyway.
What did we say? We said we get deep.
Ooh, Lord. They, that's another story. Anyway. So, I searched for him, and I was 19, you know, and I had this boyfriend at the time. He was really cool. He was cool. And, he actually took me. I had found my dad. He was working at a bowling alley. I called him on the phone.
Bowling alley. Oh my gosh.
Right?
I'm done.
I know, and that's all I like to do for bowling. So, he was working at a bowling alley, and I called him, and I was like, hi. This is your daughter. And he said my name. And I was like, oh, you know about me?
Wow.
Like, oh my gosh. Okay. So, you know, we set up a time, you know, to go meet. And boyfriend I had drove me all the way there, like 13 hours. And, you know, and I was nervous, and I was excited. You know, I didn't know what, you know. And when I met him, it was like, oh. And so his first words to me, he was like, oh, wow, you look like me. Yeah, you got my color. You want to buy me a bottle of wine? I said, what? Oh, wow.
I said, no, sir.
Now, I mean, you know, I did have a little bit of an agenda. I planned on giving him some words, you know what I'm saying? You know, because it was his fault my life was messed up anyway, you know what I'm saying? Because he left. So I did have a little agenda, and this made it really easier to do, you know? But I was done. I was like, oh, I'm out. Let's go. And my boyfriend, he convinced me to you know, so we bought him a bottle of wine and we went to the hotel room, you know, and I was done. I was disgusted. And I judged him. I judged him so much. Like, how could you? How could you not? How could you leave your kid? You know? How could you just drink? Like, that's, you know? I found that out. That's not funny, but I did find out the answer. However, so it was rough. But he ended up getting sober, and we actually ended up having a really good relationship. And
yeah.
So because I like grew up and I didn't really know what I didn't know how to call somebody dad.
Mhm. Oh, come on now.
Dad.
Come on now.
Daddy.
Right.
No. Anyway, my God, help me, Jesus. I don't want to cry. Oh Lord, God is good. He got me right out of that, didn't he? So anyway, I didn't know about that. So, I spent a lot of time being like, hard. I let him in, you know what I mean? But I could only go so far.
Right.
And I really wish that I didn't. But, cool thing is that he came back and he faced everything, and he didn't stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would knock on my door, and I'd be like, no, bruh. He wouldn't stop trying. You know what I mean? And we actually ended up having a good relationship because I forgave him.
Yeah.
Before I even really knew what the walk he had to walk, you know what I'm saying? Because I forgave him, my children got to have a relationship with him that was never tainted. That was, they got to have a grandpa, you know what I mean? And he got to be that, and he loved that. And he took me to Disney. Well, he took us to Disney World. And my grandmother, and she's awesome too. But, we went, and I, for a split second, you know what? Like, I always wanted to be daddy's little girl. Like, I didn't know what that was. I didn't really know that I wanted to be that either, because my uncles filled a real, like, I was daddy's little girl. Like, I got to experience that, but, there was just something that it's different, I guess. So, but we were standing in Disney World, and what is that little thing? Tinkerbell?
Tinkerbell.
All of a sudden, now I'm grown, okay? But y'all, how was I?
I don't know.
I just got 40.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Anyway.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Woo. So we were at Disney, and Tinkerbell starts flying through the sky out of nowhere, and then these fireworks go off, and I'm standing there, and it was like a fairy tale moment, and oh my God. I remember looking right here, and my dad was standing right there next to me, and he just looked at me, and we had a moment of like, and I got to be that. So my point, forgiveness is key to healing on any level. I'm grateful that I did get to experience that, and I did forgive him. I think ultimately I forgave him when I had to stand in his shoes. Yeah, because, I had to actually...
Ooh, baby hot.
Yeah. There's a saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's, you have parents, and your parents, they, mine both did some doozies, I tell you. And, but the it makes you angry, it makes you bitter, but that bitterness and that hate, it can get into your heart, and sometimes you have to actually drink from that cup, and it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough. So when I actually had to stand in those same shoes of, how could you choose a drink over your kids? How could you, you know what I'm saying? All of that, and be, just to be in the grips of that.
Yeah.
Forgiveness it's amazing. So my every memory after that is us having a good time. Besides my uncles, every other man that was, I don't have, we ain't gonna go there. What?
Right.
No. Mm-mm. So he fulfilled his.
Yeah.
And I watched him work his recovery.
Yeah.
And he did it, and I feel like he paved the way. He paved the way.
Yeah.
And I miss him, but I'm grateful to have known him.
Yeah. And there's such a essential bond between grandparent and grandchild, right? For so many reasons. And I feel like, in me and grandpa's relationship, I never there was nothing corrupt about our relationship. There was nothing tainted. There was nothing nasty. There was nothing bad, right? And so for me, whether it was, from being a kid, there was always a lens of men are nasty, right? So men are bad, right? Period. That's just what it is. Period. That's, what it is. Never, don't wear those shorts. Make sure you always got pants on. All these other things, just growing up naturally and having to deal with some of that nasty in my own life, right? And with my own experiences. And so for me, with my grandfather, it was like the first man that I had a relationship with that he wasn't trying to be nasty, right? Or he wasn't trying to get something. He wasn't trying to be anything like that. Or of the stories that I heard of men that were like that I had in my head as a kid, right? And so with our relationship, it was so beautiful in that aspect, and to see the growth and the switch around, right? Because he could have that, little girl relationship that he might not have necessarily been able to have due to his, addiction when he was going through it, as he could have necessarily with my mom. You know what I mean? So he was able to, teach me some of the things as a kid that he never got the chance to teach my mom. There's one specific story that I will forever tell that, brings tears to my eyes. And it's when, I was at the amusement park with my grandfather. And, I don't like rides. So I get scared. I don't like that. I can't breathe. So I did I want to go on the ride or no? He just invited. Yeah. Okay. So he said, that we're going to go on this ride. And I was like, no, it's okay. You do your thing. I'm going to chill out back here. And so he was like, no, come on. We're going to go. And I was like, Mom? I was like, okay. So we went, right? And before that, even when I was even younger than that, I had written him a letter. And it said, I want to be called Grandpa's girl. That's what I want to be. I want to be Grandpa's girl. And so, it's that, I'm about to get into cycles. But anyways, and I wanted to be Grandpa's girl, right? And so he saw that, and he was obviously like, yes, it is what it is, yes. Because he didn't necessarily get that experience. And so back to the amusement park. So we get on the ride, and the ride starts going, and I'm so scared. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to breathe. I'm not going to be okay. But I'm holding on to him, and he's holding on to me as we're on the ride. The ride starts going. It starts going around. And the whole time I'm laughing. I have nothing but joy. I'm not scared at all. Like, I'm laughing, and I look at him, And he's like, oh, yeah, whoa. And I'm like cracking up at his face because he looked so funny. And so, it's just that relationship and that courage, And I'm so grateful for my grandfather, right? Because that moment alone gave me so much courage, like in here, like in my spirit. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to be afraid of, right? Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. And I'm going to end up laughing either way it go. I'm going to end up cracking up. I'm going to end up smiling and happy. And, I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for our relationship. And, he knew what he was doing. You know what I mean? And for so many reasons that I'm going to touch on later. But I'm just so grateful. And so when he passed away, that was one of the hardest times for me. Because, my Grammy had passed away and other people had passed away that I cared about. But not on the level that I cared about my grandpa. And really what my grandpa stood for in my eyes. Right? And who he was through my lens, right? He was a man of God. He was, somebody who wasn't corrupt, trying to do nasty stuff, be anything like that. He cared for me. He taught me courage, right? He was always there for me no matter what, no matter, how little or how much we spoke through the distance that was between us. I knew he cared for me. I knew he was proud of me. You know what I mean? And so by the time he passed away, and we're about to go deep. By the time he passed away, I came home and my mom was like, she was crying, and I knew what it was. And I said, no. So I went upstairs. I was like, I'm not even about to deal with this right now. I said, no, that's not true. I'm like in a state of, but you're not having it. Like, you don't know nothing at that point. So I went upstairs. Next thing you know, I'm calling him over and over again, calling his phone like, all right, come on. Come on, G, pick up. And I'm so grateful that, I can say this story now and be able to speak it. And so I called him over and over again. No answer, right? And I was just like, bro. And the last text, it's so crazy, y'all. The last text that I got from him was saying how proud he was of me and the young lady that I'm becoming. And I was just like, I'm done. I was like, I'm done. That's it. I'm done. We're done here. I was like, really? Wow, that's crazy. And then at that point, it was like strong mode for me. It was like, I don't care how I feel, strong mode, because I got to be there for my mom. So I was like, no more crying. We good. You gonna be strong now. That's what you got to do. And so, and that's so much pressure to put on yourself. Oh. Right? Because then there's no release for you and how you're feeling, right? And you're not speaking. And that's one thing that's so huge for me. And, growing up, you got to speak, bro. You got to open your mouth. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care, even if it's to yourself in your room out loud, you got to speak it. Even if you're not comfortable yet bringing it to another person, say it out loud so that you can hear it, because you're a person that can speak to you in that moment, right? And God hears you. I don't care what you think about how, all the guilt, all the shame you may be feeling. You got to speak, because he hears you and he's listening to you regardless. And he loves you regardless of any of that. Yep. He loved you before that, and he's going to love you after that. So, so for that, so I didn't speak for a while. And so the funeral came, all that came. And, I didn't cry until after, when we were in the hotel room. I think, was it the hotel room? Was it? No, it was after when we went to his house. It was after when we went to my grandpa's house and we were in his room getting his belongings and stuff. Then I lost it. I was like, done. Done. Right? And that, there's so many things that I thank my grandpa for. And, even in death, he was here for me. And he is here for me. I don't care about none of that stuff. Even in death, he was here for me. Because at that moment, that's when I pressed into God for real. God was always there throughout my whole life, right? I always knew about God. God was always there. I'd always heard about God, Jesus, yes, Lord, we love you. Everything like that. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. But it wasn't until really, and even with stuff that my mom had gone through, I used to close my eyes and say, God, 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 God. So I knew he was there. I knew he was here. I knew he had my back, all that stuff. But it was so different to when my grandfather passed away. I can remember sitting with my desk, and I started watching like motivational speaking, right? The motivational speakers I started to watch, and I could just remember crying, saying, God, I want a relationship with you. God, I want to know you. Like, I need that relationship with you, because my father, grandfather, my father, and all the other men's really, weren't there. And the relationships that I did have with some of them were, little to non-existent, and bad things has happened, and all this other things, right? So I needed that, relationship with God, and for so many reasons that I didn't even know about, But yeah, that's kind of the when I started really asking for a relationship with him, and not realizing that I always had one.
Mm. 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 When you realize he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I didn't want to tell you that. That was.
Yeah. I remember you was already crying, and I was like, bruh, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah, I knew. You looked at me, and I got everything that you said.
Yeah.
And I said, wow. I was actually like, thank you, because I don't really wish to say it. Matter of fact, we had to go say happy birthday.
Yeah. Right.
We'll save that, because they don't even know about that.
Yeah, right. Oh. Woo.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what you talking about? Yeah. Oh boy. So I to hear her say, I couldn't, because I had to be there for my mom.
Right.
That's a lot for a child.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a child. And that's just a lot. And I appreciate you. I know when we went, we had to go, and I still, I'm still processing that one. God is, and I'm grateful God is being gentle with me, because with that one, and I'm taking it slow, because it's I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm okay. Right. It just, there was just a lot. I'm okay. I'm good. I'm grateful.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Absolutely. It's a process.
It is a process. Yeah. But we have some laughs.
Yeah, heck yeah.
We had some laughs. We had some good times. I'm grateful for my grandmother, his mother.
Talk about some pound cake.
Oh, Grandma. God. Grandma. Yo, pound cake. Unreal. It's tell the people that you love them while they're here. You know what I'm saying? Tell the people that you love them while they're here. I'm gonna call my grandmother.
Right after this. Give people their claps, their roses.
Really?
While they can.
And try, I would try to forgive. For you.
For you.
For you. Not, it's not necessarily, there's some things that, are harder than others to forgive. You know what I mean? But ultimately, the reason why I say that mainly too is because, when you harbor that unforgiveness in anything, and you don't have to have a relationship with whoever it is that you have to forgive. You know what I mean? You don't have to have a relationship with them. That's not. The forgiving part is for yourself, so that your heart can begin to heal. so that you can begin to really experience life and joy and you know, it's freeing.
Yeah.
It's freeing, and I didn't know that. My unforgiveness was my strength. You know what I'm saying? It worked for me, boy. It worked for me. Let me tell you, it worked for me.
Right,
and
right.
And I'm glad it worked when it worked, because I needed it to work. Because you know, but you know, comes a time where you gotta let it go.
Yeah, and in letting that go, that reminds me, you know, sometimes in letting that anger go, when it starts to harm you rather than help you, sometimes that can feel like betrayal.
Ooh.
Right?
Oh, girl.
And sometimes that can feel like betrayal in self.
To
yourself. When really you're helping yourself, but it feels like betrayal to yourself. It feels like cutting.
Yes.
Been there.
Ooh,
been there.
Ooh, girl, you going in, huh?
Been there.
You going in.
Been there.
Yes, because that within itself is like a death that you have to live.
Right.
Through, because that's a part of you that.
Right.
Yeah. Girl.
That wall kept you. That wall kept you protected.
Yes.
For a while, and you know, you grew so comfortable with that wall being there. It was a safe place for you. But in a season when you need that wall to come down in order for you to live, the killing of that wall, it's not. It hurts. It hurts. There's no, you know, it's not gonna hurt. No, it hurts. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. You're gonna get through it, but it hurts.
It does.
And you don't have to feel like you're less than because that wall hurts coming down. And you don't have to feel like you're the only one because the wall coming down hurts you. You're not. You're not. I felt it. She felt it. We felt it.
Still feel it?
Still feel it because it's a process. It's a process. Right? It's a process.
Yes. It's not, no, you know.
And as you go in your process, you learn how to let it come down a little bit easier than the last time. Right. So it's not, you know, it just vanishes. No, it doesn't necessarily work like that. But as you continue to go, you learn how to, you know, calm the wall, bring it down a little bit easier than you did last time.
Can't do it by yourself.
Can't do it by yourself.
No.
Can't do it by yourself.
Cannot be done by itself, by yourself. There's no way. There's no way. You need God to help you. You need God to help you. And if you ain't ready to talk to God, you need some people that you got to talk to some people. You got to reach out to some people. You know, you have to. You have to ask for help. And that's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, that is
especially hard. That's hard because, you know, if you grew up anything like myself, you know, asking for help, oh no, that's vulnerable, first of all. And anybody got no time to be vulnerable. You can't be vulnerable. I could not be vulnerable. I had to be hard at all times. And, you know, there's a part of me that is grateful for that because, you know, I didn't have to fight a lot. I had to, you know, do what I had to do, whatever, survive. But it really takes more strength to be vulnerable and to say, I don't know everything. I don't know how to do this. I'm scared. I need help.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I'm lost. I'm hurting. Hurt? Oh, goodness gracious. I could never say I was hurt. No, you ain't hurt me.
Right.
Yeah, right. I just heard this child singing. I'm sorry.
She's singing.
I'm like, what is going on? Is she singing or is she crying?
Yeah, it sounded like she was crying for a second, but she's singing.
She's singing, man. That's my baby.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And going back real quick, you know, one of the things for me, with relationships that I've had is, you know, with parents and you know, with people older than me and stuff like that is having the wall of, I already know that. Or I know that already. You can't teach me anything. I already know. I know. I already know. You know, and not in the way, you know, not even knowing it, right? Because that's a defense mechanism. Because when you look like you don't know, it's like a little weakness. It's a weakness area that they can come in and just penetrate. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And without even knowing it, being like, I know that. Because giving you the opportunity to teach me something is like giving you something. Ooh. And I can't afford to lose nothing that I have. Ooh. Right? So there comes that wall again, right? Mm-hmm. And that wall of letting somebody teach you something that really you need help with. You don't know. You don't know. But you saying that you know because you don't want to give them that up on you because you think that somehow letting somebody teach you something is giving them something to have against you. You don't even know. And those are your little isms that you have within yourself that you don't even realize.
Sound like her mama. What? I love my baby.
But I'm saying, and then that wall is there, right? And letting that wall come down, right? And because you need to get across the wall anyway. And so it's just that the wall has become a friend that hurts you. Oh. But it's your friend. Oh. Oh. So. Oh. Yeah. That's one of the things that I've personally had to, that's been a wall that I've had to, you know, continue to grow with, continue to learn and be in process with. Oh. Just a prime example.
Girl.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like an addiction. It's like an escape. You know what I mean? Because the alcohol was my best friend. Let me tell you something. That was my homie. We was tight. Oh. You know, that was. Oh.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. But it turned on me like most drugs, sex. I mean,
so
matter,
many addictions.
You know what I mean? There's so many addictions. It's not only drugs. There's, you know, every addiction, you know, and you talked about the isms. It's my baby. The isms. That's that's one of my favorite words because it's just truth. It's real to me. And it's those isms that make you want to escape and, you know, but their addictions do turn on you, no matter what they are. You know, I can remember I think I was talking to you about this, you know, being a teenage mom and just like, you know, and not even so much the mom part, is being a teenager and you know, hoism is a real thing. Did you
it's a real thing. It's not false.
It's a real thing.
Real.
And you know, sometimes you didn't ask to be invited into the hoism. You was thrown into it, born into it. Didn't you know? You ain't come to the earth expecting.
No, you didn't. That wasn't the choice that you would have made.
That's
if you could have made one.
You know what I'm saying? No. So sometimes that is the reality of people like me and people that you know, a lot of people more than you.
Yeah.
And it needs to be talked about because
absolutely.
You know, that's an adversity that's hard to get out of. And it just comes with so much guilt and shame and trapping and like you don't even realize. You don't even realize that has become your addiction. It's your way of life. It's your, you know what I mean? There's just, you know, this movie gonna be great. Our movie is gonna be off the chain because you know what? I'm putting it out there because we're putting it out there because it's. You know, it's time for, and I know there has been real talk, and there's a lot of real talk out there, and I'm grateful for it because had I not seen it, you know, had someone not come and you know, in one way, shape, or form, and let me know that wow, I'm not alone. You know what I'm saying? I would not be able to share, and our movie's gonna be off the chain because it's real and it's raw and and God showed up, okay, because in the end God gets the glory.
Yeah.
Gets the glory. So, there's a lot of adversities out there that people are suffering from. And right now, everybody's like stuck in the house, And sometimes, I want to send a shout out to, I don't know who you are. I don't know, but I know that.
Right.
I know what I know when I know.
When you know what you know.
I know that I have a calling, and I know I have a purpose, and I know that I didn't survive just to sit here and be like, oh, I survived. No, that ain't it. And I have said before that I promised God that I would go up to the top of the mountain and tell it, because I want to go get that one that's just like me. I want to go into the dark places where nobody wants to go to. Them places that everybody just, either stigmatizes, don't want to go in there, whatever. But I want to send out a message to that one that is hurting, whether you be male, female, child, whatever. But, you're out there, you're hurting, and you might be an addict. You might be an alcoholic, and you might be suffering right now, because you can't go outside. And you might have some mental issues, whether it's depression, because if you got any addiction, you got some other isms. So, if you're suffering, reach out for help. Reach out for help. Pick up the phone. I know that this virus is out there, but the hospitals are still open. The emergency rooms are still open. I crawled into the emergency room and I begged them not to let me leave because I was going to die. And that's what it was. I was going to die had they not helped me. And I'm grateful that they helped me, or I would have died. I had probably more alcohol in my veins than I did blood. So if you're out there and you're hurting, reach out and ask for help, because life is worth living. And right now we got this craziness, so it might look like defeat. We ain't defeated. God is all in the mix, and He is here, and you are going to witness His miracle working power, and you're going to witness Him kick this virus's butt. And, this is a time that, healing can take place. Yeah. It might be a blessing for some people that you can't go hang with some of the people that you would be hanging with right now, because they ain't no good for you, and that you're gonna get caught up. Come on if now. You even go over there. So this actually is your out. Take it. Take it. I give you permission to take it. Blame it on me. I don't care. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? But So there's blessings even in this. Because this is a blessing that I get to sit here and actually spend time with my daughter, spend time with my family. And you know what? If you're a mom and your kids are driving you crazy, before you beat them, pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, and it's okay. That's one thing I want to say, for real. Go ahead, say it. It is okay to ask for help and to say, I need help. Yeah. I don't know if I have the mental capacity not to act out my rage and my fear and my anxiety on this child. You don't mean it. You just can't. You have no other outlet. It's better for you to pick up the phone and ask for help than to take it out on the child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It is, do it for you and do it for the child. And it's okay, because kids get on your nerves. They do. And it's okay to say that. Yeah. You can't beat them, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? You can't, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna tell you what you can do. All I'm saying is, really, on some real stuff. Or before you decide to go and just, drink yourself to death because you can't deal, because you might not have no food in your house, and you're an alcoholic, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to step outside. You can't go outside, but you really need your drink. You're going to go outside. You're going to get your drink before you get them kids some food. I don't know. Now is the time right now, you know what I'm saying? If you have the opportunity and you have a phone, pick up the phone. Yeah. Call on God. He will come. I'm living proof. Yeah, me too. I am living proof. Me too. Been there, done that. I would walk through a blizzard to go get my liquor before I got them kids some food to eat. Come on. So I be in my room, passed out. I got what I needed, but my babies is in the living room suffering with nothing to eat. You know what? Been there, done that. And it's okay to get up out of that and to ask for help. And you are worthy to get some help. Yeah. You're worthy to get some help. You're worthy to get some help. You ain't got to stay there. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to stay there. And you're already a fighter, so you might as well just
Period.
get up and God gonna meet you. And I know.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are, but I know. And I know.
I know you out there.
I know. You can just get up and you know what? Just like you fought all them dudes off and just like you had to fight off all them demons already throughout your life, you just get up and you just fight. And this time God is gonna help you. He gonna swing with you. You know? Really. You ain't gotta stay there.
Yep.
You don't gotta stay there. Man, woman, or child. And if you are a child, and you know, I know you don't want to say nothing because you know you're probably loyal to your parents. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not safe, pick up the phone and call somebody. Ask for help. And it's okay because, you know, I know you might feel like you're betraying your parent, but you probably are saving your life and theirs. And because you don't have to stay in that neither.
You don't.
And as much as I get mad and say, oh, you know, yeah, DCF came and took my kids, thank God that they showed up.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing my kids right. Thank God that they showed up.
And I could say that now.
And I can say that now. And it took me a minute because, you know, that they ain't always correct, you know, how you feel when they just be, you know, and you hear stories or whatever. But, you know, truth be told, but how do I know that they was going to make it through that night with me the way in my shape? I could have burnt the house down.
Yeah.
I mean, anything. So, you know, if you're a child and the things ain't right, pick up the phone. Tell somebody. Somebody. Get out. Run. Bite if you got to bite.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
bite.
saying? Bite. Call on the name of Jesus. Use what you got to get what you want and be out. And you ain't got to stay there.
Yeah.
You ain't got to stay there. And to all my people that's out there, and you know what? You didn't pick up today? Because whether it's 10 years or however long, it don't matter. We got the same 24 hours. And,
same 24.
And all them years, they're years.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for them, but I have right now. I got the same 24 hours that you do. And if you didn't pick up today, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Don't pick up today. Wait till tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then tomorrow, wait till the next day.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you too. So on that note, we want to thank you guys for watching. We thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate all of you guys, and we are here with you. We are praying for you. You want to end this with a prayer? Okay. We're going to pray. So bow your head, close your eyes. No. All right. Go ahead, Mama. Go ahead.
Oh, boy.
You got it, girl.
Oh, Father. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And I hope I got all that right.
Well, Jesus makes up the difference. So, on that note, thank you guys. We love you. Talk to you guys soon.
Peace.
Bye. Wait, 45 minutes.